Hey guys, it's Alex, welcome back to CollectioNeo and Statue Forum, and today we're looking at Kotobukiya ArtFX Spiderman and ArtFX Venom. Now, most of you probably know ArtFX Plus from Kotobukiya, which is their 110 line, which they've also done Marvel, DC and Star Wars. These are actually 1/6 scale, kind of like their fine art line that they did. Now, most of you will probably know the fine art line because they were all resin, and they did the Danger Room stuff for the X-Men, and they did some Avengers stuff earlier on, and Hulk and a few other bits. That's kind of stopped now with Eric Sosa leaving Koto to concentrate on his own stuff. So these have kind of snuck out under the radar. Now, Koto have always done the ArtFX line, always around 1/6, 1/7 scale. Although there is a ArtFX J line, which is more of a Japanese line, which focuses on anime and things like that. That's usually 1/8. 1/7 is usually the Star Wars stuff, although some of them creep up to being 1/6. But the official line is their 1/7. And then they've also done, DC stuff. They did Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, all the Jim Lee style ArtFX stuff, which was all 1/6 scale. They've done Ninja Gaiden stuff, which was 1/6. They've recently done Freddy and Jason in 1/6. Koto have been doing these ArtFX pieces for the last 15-20 years. So if you actually look back over those years, they've actually put out quite a lot of stuff and quite a lot of cool stuff. Now, these kind of snuck out under the radar because, like I say, the fine art line is kind of dead, or kind of dead without Eric Sosa. Whether they bring it back, I don't know. And then these guys kind of snuck out, and now these are actually polystone resin bases with PVC figures. So they've kind of mixed it up, so you can get these really cool, big posies that you wouldn't really get in resin. Well, you probably would, but it's a little bit more dangerous. Obviously, leaning on Spider-Man, if that was resin, that'd probably lean unless it got a big metal bar through it. And also, price point is quite low. Spider-Man's $200, Venom's $250, and I think they're both worth it. I actually paid a little less. I actually picked Venom up for about 140 quid, so about 180 bucks, and Spider-Man I picked up for 120 quid, so about 150. So you can find them online, you can find them cheaper. I've bought both of them brand new as well. They're brand new and sealed. There's no edition size on them, so that's why you'll probably pick them up cheap. But it's a cracking Venom and Spider-Man, as I'm sure you can see. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to pause, and then we're going to take a look at Spider-Man, then we'll take a look at Venom, and then I'll put them both back together. So here we go, guys, just for Spider-Man. Now, the first thing I'm going to point out with this is it is a resin base, but it's not a super heavy resin base. The first thing I need to say about this is that base should have been heavier. I'm just going to come down a little bit and show you. So as you can see, I've got him on our big lazy Susan here. And if I just do that, it's solid enough that it'll wobble back, but honestly, that'll tip. It wasn't heavy enough. It's hollow cast. I'm going to try and spin. To be honest, I'm really nervous about spinning it. As you can see, it's just really wobbly. I don't think it will go, but we'll keep an eye on it as I go round. Let's just do this base while we're on it. As you can see, it's like the corner of a building they've gone for. Kind of a sandy stone. Shading's pretty good on it. It's pretty neutral. It doesn't really take away from Spider-Man too much. And then at the back, they've done like a mock cityscape. As you can see, just some squares representing buildings. And then for some God knows, fuck knows reason, they've just sprayed it black. Don't really know why. It doesn't really work. But hey, there you go. Now, as you can probably see, Spider-Man is actually holding onto the web, and I've just got it coming out the back here. And this is actually fully posable. It's like got a wire running through it, so you can do whatever you want with it, really. But I just liked it coming off the back, so it looks like he's attached to the building. And it just kind of sat there. A little anchor point at the back would have been nice, but it'll just sit there. The main thing that you're buying this piece for is Spider-Man. I think it's one of my favourite Spider-Man sculpts ever. I just think it looks fantastic. If we zoom up a little bit, the pose is great, and now the eyes are totally McFarlane or Mark Bagley, it's my perfect Spider-Man look, to be honest. He pegs just into the wall, one peg. And like I say, he has PVC, he actually splits at the body, so when you buy him, these actually come packaged with a large piece of polystyrene at the bottom of the box, and then at the top just a clear plastic like you'd find in most other ArtFX pieces that Spider-Man's housed in. And he's just split in two at the waist. And then the webbing separate as well. The webbing just literally pushes into his hand, one at the front, one at the back. Now the webbing up here does look a little odd. Now there, it looks brilliant, because in frame, out of frame, the webbing is just out of frame, so it looks like he's actually attached to something. But obviously it's not, it's just going up. So what I actually do is, on my display, is I actually push it up, so it looks like it's actually into the roof of where the display is. The paints are great. PVC, you get really clean lines. And like I say, it's just a really, really great Spider-Man sculpt and great pose. The other Koto, the fine art one that Eric Sosa did of Spider-Man is great, but I much prefer the paints on this. The paints on that one were like a metallic blue, which I wasn't much for. It is a great looking Spider-Man and a great pose, but I do think this one's better. And like I say, those eyes, that head sculpt, the musculature is spot on. He's not super ripped, but he's nice and lean. And as you can see, he's coming right off that base, just 1 foot, just to peg in. It's really, really nice, really effective. As you can see there, the webbing just attached to nothing. But once you've got him on display, if you've got him where, you know, you could literally customise this and push that webbing wherever you wanted. Like I say, just touching the top of the display just gives that little illusion that he's actually attached to something. So guys, that's a quick look at Spidey. I'm going to pause and bring in Venom. So here's Venom. Now, first thing, this one's a lot more solid. The base is way heavier. Venom's much, much heavier. He is actually a separate piece. So is his head and the web. The web on this one isn't bendable. It's actually one hard, solid piece which just pops out. Both of these you can display without the web if you like. On Spider-Man you can display it with, you know, just one piece if you wanted. And we will put that back in because I have displayed slightly different. He's huge. He has a massive 1/6 piece. You know, as big as I'd say as maybe the Crouching Venom by Bowen, and certainly as big as the fine art Venom that Koto did originally. And what I do like about this is you probably won't see it as much on camera, but he's pretty much black, but there is blue shading there. Paints all look fantastic. Now, because these are PVC, and I will zoom in to show you, you do get a few seam lines, but I don't think they're too bad, but I'm kind of used to buying PVC and vinyl pieces. This church like spire, or this building, is just a wash. There's you know, details are fine. I like that it's quite neutral and Venom pops, because if it was dark or if it had more I don't think Venom would pop as much with it being so dark, but the white highlights and the greys on it make him pop. And like I say, we've got all this I love that all the base is broken up where he's leaping from it. It shows the power where Spider-Man's very delicate, leaping away. Venom's a lot more, as we all know, a lot more powerful. Head sculpt is kind of McFarlane-y, but it's got the tongue. You know, it's not the really distorted teeth or the huge amounts of slobber. It's kind of McFarlane, but they've added the tongue. As you can see, there is a seam there because the head is separate. It's not too bad, honestly, once it's on display. But the head sculpt is great. It's very classic. As you can see, we've got seams here on the arms as well. I think the top arm is actually a separate piece. So we have got seams running around there as well. They're not too bad, guys, honestly. I don't think so anyway, but you know, everyone's got different tolerances. Yes, it would be nice if they were filled and you couldn't see them, but like I say, on more PVC statues you do get more seams. I don't think like the filling process is the same as you would do on a polystone statue where you'd fill it and sand it. Also, Venom's got toes and claws. Venom classically has just like Spider-Man feet, just like where he's like wearing boots. But here they've gone for the toes and the claws, which I don't mind. I think it's a really nice Venom, actually. I do actually think it's a really nice Venom. I like the pose, colour's spot on, the white really pops. The face is really, really good. Like I say, it's just got that mix between McFarlane and then whacking the tongue on. It's not too extreme. A lot of the, you know, if you look at like Prime 1 Venom, where it's got all the teeth pouring out all over the place and drool and just a bit too much for me. This is more like Eddie Brock as Venom rather than Venom. You know, the symbiote being in control. Now the webbing, like I say, I actually prefer it like this, if I can get it out. So I just kind of tuck it in behind, so it looks like he's swung onto the building rather than he's about to swing off it. I mean, to be honest, I think the piece looks better without it. So if you look at it like that, it kind of works still. You know, that he's attached to something he's about to swing off. Or like that, if it's on display, it's kind of there, but not too much. Like I say, he's the box and all the marketing material show it as that, which is great because it looks like he's going to leap off the building, and he's already got web attached, but it does add quite a bit of length to that statue. And with it going nowhere, it doesn't really work with it going up. Like I say, same as Spider-Man, it kind of attaches to the top of my display. It looks better, in my opinion. So let's leave Venom there, let's push him back. Let's put that webbing how I like it. Just kind of like that. And then we will bring in Spider-Man. Now Spider-Man is a bit high, but they kind of match up really, really well. And actually, if you've got a display on multiple levels, I think Venom above Spider-Man looks great, or Spider-Man above Venom looks really good as well. Let's just set that up and have a quick look. So I've just quickly thrown Spider-Man in a box here, and as you can see, you know, I do like it when Spider-Man and Venom team up. Obviously Venom's webbing's going nowhere. But, you know, like I said, that always could be removed. And I just think they're a great couple of pieces that seem to have gone under the radar. Now there's obviously a lot of Spider-Man and Venom out there, thanks to Boeing and Kotobukiya. But, you know, I think if you can pick either of these up for 100, 150 bucks, they're certainly worth it. You know, collecting on a budget. And, you know, be aware of that. I think the Spider-Man piece would integrate better into other collections. You know, I don't think there's a real definitive Spider-Man out there. I don't think this is it. But I think it's one of the nicer 1/6 Spider-Mans. Venom. Crouching Venom from Boeing. And this, I actually have a real soft spot for the Sewer Venom as well from Boeing. Both are great. The Koto Fine Art Venom isn't great in my opinion. I think this one's better, but yeah, definitely worth checking out, guys. I just wanted to, you know, show these off as an alternative, or a couple of alternatives for your Marvel setup. So there you go, guys. Hopefully we'll get to them Koto Star Wars pieces soon. I'm going to do those in a big video, and then hopefully some Grandista and Supermaster Stars for a few anime pieces. We'll get them in soon. I've also got Poxel coming in from Court of the Dead, so you might see that before this goes up. I'll get that up as soon as possible. So there you go, guys. Another review from me. Spider-Man, Venom, Kotobukiya ArtFX. Like I say, if you're looking for an alternative to your Spider-Man or Venom, take a look at these. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.